Testicles. Okay, there we go. That's usually what I say when I go into a record session. I'll just say testicles. And then they use it in some movie. It's one of those movies, the comedy movies they did in America, where it's like there was like an ancient Greek movie comedy, and they had some character in it named Testicles. I'm like, I hadn't thought of that. So here's the deal. I'm jet lagged and I feel completely drunk, which means this panel is going to be interesting. Also, I'm in Wales. I know the difference. I still haven't figured out how the UK works and the EU works and the Brexit and all that other stuff. And I particularly don't understand how English law works, because I watch a lot of British cop shows. And for the longest time, I thought DCI stood for Detective Copper Inspector. I'm Detective Copper Inspector Jones. Like I didn't understand what it meant. And I know you guys want to talk about Dragonball. I really don't. No, I'm kidding.
One Piece.
Is that music? We can talk about with this. Well, yeah. Let me go a little bit over my credits. I don't like to do that because it always sounds like I'm bragging, but. A lot of people don't know. In fact, to this day, I meet people who go, "Well, you do Geeked too?" I'm like, "Yes." I've been doing that voice for 18 years, and also I'm kind of an existential self-examiner and appreciator of the beauty of situations like this. Meaning, it's not lost on me the profundity of this moment. Here we all are in a room. Some guy in Japan in the 80s drew a cartoon comic called Dragonball, and now we all have a connection. It's pretty magical and special, and that is not lost on me. Sometimes I live with it so much it's overwhelming, and so I will get recognized on the street, which is surreal, and I don't even understand why. So, because to me it's just my life and my job, and it's brought me all the way to Wales twice. Because I was in Bristol a couple of years ago. So, yeah, Bristol's great, Newport's great. I like Wales in general. Once you start moving westward, it's so beautiful. And I'm a bit of an Anglophile. I have a lot of things that are English that I like, not just Detective Copper Inspectors. But let me go over some of my credits. Just so you know, my name is Sean Schemmel. I'm best known as the voice of Goku and King Kai and Nail from Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z. And I've also worked on Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Pokemon. I worked on Ninja Turtles, Sophia the First, Scooby-Doo. I was Batman in The Dark Knight Rises for iPad. I was Strong in Fallout 4. I've done about 100 different character voices over the last 18 years for different shows, some of which you guys don't care about, and some of which you do. Also, I am a pretty liberal guy with my tongue, so I might curse, so if there's kids in here, I apologize. I don't mean to, but sometimes, yeah, there's one right in front of me, and I was thinking, I've edited about 5 curse words, and I'm like, that's not going to last long at this rate. My filter's really, really weak right now because I'm tired, so I apologize if I slip out. Okay, yeah. You guys invented cursing anyway, so. Oh, okay, good. All right. So that's and I'm also an ADR director and a script adapter, and I was a former professional French hornist, classical musician. I also play electric guitar and bass. And I was telling you my interests only because sometimes I find that if I go to a panel, it doesn't necessarily have to be about Dragon Ball, and some kids and young people want to know, like, there's a lot of ways I got to where I am that are transferable to those of you who have hopes and dreams, and so sometimes I get existentially philosophical about thinking outside the box and telling society the big F you so you can do what you want, which I'm a big believer in. So that's kind of my short intro, and then we're going to do, I may want you to, check, I might need the mic for people in the...
Absolutely.
What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Chris.
Chris, that's right, Chris. That's so funny because you look almost exactly like my friend Michael Center Nicholas's friend Chris, who's a detective in New York. Michael Center Nicholas is the voice of Dean Venture, and he's a really good voice actor and director himself. He's a dear friend of mine. Let's open up the floor. I guess what I'm saying by all that is that I will have a giant ADD conversation with you, and hopefully we'll be entertaining and hopefully informative. And we can talk just about Dragon Ball. I'm just throwing, cards out there. And my answers to my questions will probably be much longer than you want. Go ahead. Does anybody have any
man's coming up.
questions?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You are over here. You were first.
Oh yeah, she's on the front row. Let's do it. They got me a nice, cool fan. Oh, by the way, first of all, I want to find a way to start a business to bring air conditioners to all of Wales. I have a very nice hotel. I want to bring Australian toilets to America and American air conditioning to Wales. Because I go to my hotel conditioner. No, air conditioner. What, there's a heater. I'm like, well, it's hot, so I don't need a heater. It's exactly. And so I was like, I opened the window. Well, I opened the door to my balcony, and then I turned the fan on, blowing on me. It was cool enough. Then I wake up and read the news, and some man has been bitten by a false widow, which we call brown recluses, and he almost died or got his flesh eaten. And I'm like, wow, my door was open all night, and a brown recluse could have eaten my leg. Anyway, let's let Bulma ask a question. Or false widow. What do you guys have black widows, or is a false widow's not a black widow? No, but I thought.
Widow.
Well, black widow. What's that?
Black Widow.
Does it have the bow tie on it? A false widow? No, you know the black widows have the bow tie on, and then the brown recluses are very tiny, and they can both kill you. But I don't think the black widow can. I don't know.
What's your favourite spider?
What's your favorite spider? This is going to be a group comedy routine, is what this is going to be. But yeah, I love it here. It's beautiful, and I'm really appreciative of it's a very surreal feeling to do work on something like this for so many years and then go and have a room full of people show up to listen to you blab. So we're going to listen to her blab for a second, and then I'm going to respond. So what would you want to ask me if you wanted to?
Bristol isn't Wales, it's England.
Oh, it is England. That's correct. Sorry. Wait a second. Oh, here's why I was confused. When I was in Bristol, I visited a friend of mine in Wales and took a train, and I think I mixed the two. I went to Cardiff. Sorry. That's in Wales, right? Yes. Okay. Okay.
Right, what has been your favourite voice acting job?
Well, the favorite voice acting job for any voice actor is the one that pays the most. Second to that. And that would not be Dragonball. But, no, I'm just joking. But, boy, that's, I really, well, okay. My favorite voice acting job is Goku. Here's the thing with Goku and me. Goku is my first audition and the first big role I ever got. And it is a separate thing from everything else I do. It's like your first kiss or your first love or anything that's really special growing up. And Winston has to go to the bathroom. So, I was leaving. Okay, what's he doing? Where are you going? Okay, okay. All right, he's funny. Anyway, he likes to hug people. I found that out the hard way. No pun intended. Anyway, I'm really jet lagged. I warn you kids. That's a very special thing. But outside, Goku's special because of this moment right here. It's not the funnest character to play. He doesn't really grow much. He's an idiot. He's two-dimensional and he screams a lot. He's kind of a dick-headed father, too. King Kai is way more fun to play than Goku. But as far as this reaction and this part of my job, this is what makes Goku a very, very, very special thing for me, and while I'd never let it go. As far as acting is concerned, I had some really good roles. Playing Batman in The Dark Knight Rises for iPad, which was a minor Batman role. I only bring it up because, Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman, but I had to voice match Christian Bale for the iPad iPhone game, and Warner Brothers was talking to me and asking me to voice match, and I'm trying to do it, and I did it, and it was very exciting because I could play Batman. And I'm a huge Batman fan, and I got to meet Adam West before he passed, which was really thrilling, because I'm a huge fan of his also. But the favorite roles, I enjoyed playing Dr. Crowler in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and Rio and Shaman King. I don't know if you guys ever saw Shaman King there. You see Shaman King? Right there, Rio, and you would talk like this, you had the whole Spanish thing going on. Voice. And screaming and powering up is all about copious amounts of air and breath support. It is huge amounts of air. And that comes from 25, 30 years of French horn playing I've done, training, and I was also a vocal minor and a singer, so you learn how to breathe properly. And so that's why I was like, how do you do this all these years? I go, yeah, I hurt my voice. Yeah, it hurts. But I don't damage it because I'm using proper breathing techniques and proper air techniques to, I'll wear it out, and then I'll sleep, and in a couple days it'll come back. Whereas if I were using the wrong techniques, I would have lost my voice 10 years ago. It's just a quick note on that. And then as far as voice acting concerned, the great thing is you're in a country that has a lot of really great acting in it, and I watch a lot of British television shows for that exact reason, because I think there's a lot of really great acting that comes out of the UK. And so you can easily go to London or any conservatory, you're very close to it, to study acting. As far as voice acting in the UK, I don't know anything about that industry here, but I'm sure there's plenty of it. I would focus on acting first, get involved in theater, and then if you want to say, but I don't want to go through theater and then be a voice actor later, because I want to be a voice actor now. Okay, fine. Join your local theater, tell your mom and dad to get you a basic microphone, get some headphones on, turn down the volume on your television set, make up voices, download a bunch of demos of different professional voice actors' voices, and try to do imitations. Not to take over a role, because if you make a voice acting reel when you're just doing copies of my voice or this voice, unless you bill yourself as an impersonator, you're just going to look like an amateur. But if you're a true impersonator, and I know I know Michael J. Fox's vocal stand-in for Back to the Future. I know Liam Neeson's vocal stand-in. I know Alec Baldwin's vocal stand-in. If you become really great at impersonating, you can become a professional vocal stand-in. I stood in for David Cross on Sophia the First and Oliver Platt because I had to sing songs because they didn't want to sing them, so they hired me to do an impression of them singing them. So there's that, and working your voice that way. But doing imitations is a great way to stretch your voice and exercise and use your ear to match things, which is a skill set that you can use to create new voices. And furthermore, a bad impression of a voice that is unrecognizable is now a new voice. For example, my voice of Amaro on Shaman King is my impression of Dan Green as Yu-Gi-Oh! But it doesn't sound like him because I don't do a good impression of Dan Green, but it's a new voice. So a bad impression of, so if I were a book Cosby, it sounds too much like him, see? And so that's now an impression, not a bad voice, but if I twist it enough, it now becomes something else, but that's so recognizable, it probably never would be. So I hope that makes sense. Paying attention to voices, listening to voices, stretching your voice, doing impersonations all the time, doing character voices. One of the things I used to like to do was, I'd be looking through these rock magazines because I was really into rock and roll, and I'd buy make things. And then like craftsmen or artists or painters. People are not even my genre. And they all have one thing in common. They have great care and attention to detail to everything they do and tremendous passion with it. And no matter what it is, even if you suck at it, one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard in my life, and I know this is the last thing I'll finish answering because I'm on a roll and I'm excited, but one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard in my life is I was a young French horn teacher. I walked into band one day, and there's these beginner band kids playing they're all warming up with the band director, and I'm going in there to teach lessons. And it's like horribly out of tune and shitty, and it's like, okay, two, and they're sixth graders, they sound like crap. It was wonderful, because I could hear underneath all the out-of-tuneness and out of all the bad timing, the passion and excitement these kids were just holding in for trying so hard. So to me, it was as beautiful as a perfectly played symphony. So you find that.
First and foremost, I think everybody here in the room would like to wish Chris all the best. I'm not too sure what's going on there.
I can tell you what's going on, actually. Let me tell you so you know. He said it was okay to say it. Chris does not like to miss conventions. He was very upset that he had to cancel. He lost his dad several years ago, and his mother's alone, basically. And she's normally in the fit of health, and she's 70 years old, and she had a little bit of a fall, and then some other things got involved that I don't even know about yet, that the doctors can't figure out something's going on with her. And he got very concerned. I don't know if his brothers were available. He has two brothers, so he went to Houston to take care of his mother, because she's very ill right now, and they're not really sure what's going on, so he was kind of concerned. And for him to miss a show, I don't know that means it's serious, but the fact that he's concerned, so that's why he's not here. And he told me that he was very upset that he couldn't make it. So hopefully,
we could just pass on our wishes, all of us.
Absolutely will. This guy's videotaping it, so he's going to see it probably.
Yeah, as the question goes, can you make 3 differences between the English and the Welsh? And what would you prefer, Shen run the dragon or a Welsh dragon?
Wait, 3 differences between the English and the Welsh? What do you mean? The English people and the Welsh people? You're asking me to delineate differences to see if I know the difference? I have no idea. I know that there's a lot of consonants in Welsh. A lot of them. Like a lot. And I am an Irish Gaelic speaker, and I tried to learn Welsh, and I was very bad at it. I was good at Gaelic, but I was not good at Welsh. I knew a Welsh professor, and I was trying to figure out how to learn it, and I'm terrible. The difference of Welsh, the accent is different. The food is fundamentally the same. It's on the same, no, it's not the same. I have no idea. The landmass is close, it's the same. I have no, their spoons, the wooden spoons are important, and there's a dragon. And for some reason, even though you are all the same fundamental size as most other people on Earth, the glasses are very small. And I know that I was joking this morning in my hotel. I was like, why are these glasses? But they think people are here. And one of the Welsh people said, they think we're all hobbits here. Someone said that to me. A Welsh person said that. I think they think we're all hobbits. And I'm like, but the glasses are, you guys are normal-sized people like everyone else on Earth. I'm an Anglophile. I don't know if I'm a Welshophile. I probably should be, but I definitely love this part of the world. So I don't know if I can name 3 differences. My first time to Wales was when I visited Bristol, which apparently is in England, I took a train to Cardiff and was confused about that. The train rides are wonderful. They're so nice. And what was the other question? A Welsh dragon. Well, you're talking about a Welsh voice, or you're talking about a Welsh drawn dragon? Man, a Welsh drawn dragon would be cool in Dragon Ball, like that traditional Welsh style. That would be cool. Yeah, I would like to see that. And I also heard about a Welsh dub of Dragon Ball that I've never heard before. Somebody mentioned it to me. Anybody in my line tell me about the Welsh version? I guess they didn't come to the panel. Somebody in my autograph line said, "Yeah, there's a Welsh dub of Dragon Ball." I'm like, really? Like, I really want to hear that from back in the day. I don't know where it is now, but that would be interesting to hear. In Welsh, not Wales. Welsh, yes. Anyway, I can't answer your question better than that. I apologize. Bulma, this other Bulma, we'll get you in the front. We'll get some people in the back, too. I don't want to forget the people in the back. Yes?
Okay, I think we got more questions.
This Bulma, yes.
Who's your favourite character, favourite saga, and why?
Oh, favorite character on Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
My favorite, here's the thing. I discovered during Battle of Gods and Resurrection F that my favorite saga was the arc of Goku and Vegeta's relationship. And that's what Dragon Ball's about. And I realized that, because I was never I was never into the Vegeta character as much as everybody else was, but I gotta say, I don't know that I'm a Vegeta fan yet, because I've always been more of a Piccolo fan and a Bubbles and Gregory fan. I love the little characters. And by the way, here's a little secret. Anytime you see Goku greeting Bubbles or Gregory, and I'll get to your question in a second, I always try to say their names with a double entendre or a subtext of that the last time Goku saw Bubbles and Gregory, they had some kind of party that was debaucherous. So you'll see Goku's like, King Kai's like, "Goku, you here?" And then Goku's like, "Bubbles, Gregory." Like, remember that party we had? We all got early, and then we did this, and we woke up naked all together. Like, there's always I'm always trying to imply that they did something very wrong the last time they hung out. So now when you hear it, you'll know what I was thinking when I was recording it. That's one of my favorite things. I love Bubbles and Gregory. So, and Chris Sabat is the voice of Bubbles. I love his Bubbles. He does it so well. And then, and why? Why do I like that? I think, why do I like that relationship? Well, one of the reasons I like it is it's fascinating to me. Akira Toriyama has been on record, I don't know if this is true or not, but he's publicly said on record, according to sources that seem reputable, that he thought that Goku's not necessarily a traditional hero, savior type character. He really only cares about fighting the strongest and nothing else. And if the world gets saved as a result of that, Akira Toriyama said that would be an interesting thing. What I think is also interesting that he did not say is that what I think is interesting is you have one character, Vegeta, who grows and evolves like a normal character would or should, meaning they're different now than they were, which is what actors like. That's what humans are. We tend to grow and evolve. And Goku stays fundamentally the same. Like he's been hit on the head with a rock. Oh, wait, that happened. So for me as an actor, it's really frustrating to play Goku. And only in Super have we gotten to see a few little notes of insight into Goku's character. I've really enjoyed the scene where Goku's trying to navigate a smartphone, and he's a radish or cabbage. He's doing radish, cabbages or something, and he's a total idiot, but then somehow seems to understand politics, but then he's clueless about it when he's dealing with Beerus, and it's very confusing. So I think what's interesting is you have two characters who start out one way, and then you have one character staying the same and the other one growing, and that dichotomy is fascinating to me. Also, what I think would be funny is my plan for Dragon Ball, which will never happen because I don't work in Japan and they don't give a crap about what I think in terms of the story. They care about what I'm doing here vocally, but would be if Goku got hit on the head again and became totally evil, and Vegeta had to teach him how to be nice. And he's bad. So Goku, that would be hilarious. So Goku's like totally like way worse than Vegeta was like, "I think you have to say thank you after you open the door. I'm not sure." Like something, we don't hit our women. Well, I'd like to, but I don't. It would be so funny to see Vegeta trying to show Goku how to be nice when he's worse than Vegeta was. Because he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be sent to Earth to terraform it, and then he got hit on the head and didn't. So I hope that answers your question. Let me get somebody in the back. Thank you, Bulma. Let me go way in the back. Because I don't want to ignore people. Yeah, the guy with the finger, well, everyone seems to have fingers here, but I don't want to say that because I did that once, and the guy raised his hand, he did not have a hand. And I felt like a total dick. Yes, go ahead. Somebody raises their hand with no hand, I'm walking out of here. And with shame. Go ahead.
Very sure. Unfortunately, due to time, it's going to be the last question.
Oh, I talk so much. I'm so sorry. Not really. Yes.
Jeff Davis, check it out.
I thought you sounded like Butthead Beavis at first. You went, and I was like, are you doing a Butthead impression? Hey, Beavis, check it out. That's the question.
I noticed for some of your characters, they sound the same. Like, do you just run out of voices, or do you feel like...
Screw you! They don't sound the same! What the hell are you talking about?
Like Greiger and Viper from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Which, like who? Sorry, I don't. They probably do sound the same. What? Which characters?
Like, Viper from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX
Right.
and Greiger from 5Ds.
Who's the first one? I can't. I'm translating your accent. I'm sorry.
Professor Thelonious Viper from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Oh, Viper. Yeah, and then Greiger.
And Greiger from 5Ds.
Yeah, that's actually particularly vexing to me, and you make an excellent point. And this is where my hands are kind of tied. I don't like it when I don't run out of voices, and I don't think I ever will, because if I believe that there's a limit, then I'm going to be really depressed, although there probably is. But what happens in that scenario, and this is what happens a lot in voice acting. First of all, you work for a number of years, and you develop a certain number of voices, and then things get very busy. And so you go in, like I'm working at 4Kids regularly, they call me in a lot, and they just put me in the spot and say, we need a voice for this, do this. And I'm like, okay, can I? So I don't have time to go, okay, hang on a second. Let me check the other 95 voices I did over the last 10 years and make sure this doesn't sound like, which I would actually love to do. And I don't want them to sound the same. I agree with you. I don't want them to sound the same. And if I had known that, that it was that close to you, even if you're the only person on earth who notices it, it still bothers me. Because I don't want anybody to know. I really don't. That's one of my ethics for voice acting. So what happens is that you don't get a chance to review it. They are, and this is going to sound arrogant, but a lot of times my ear's better than the director, and so I know I can hear those differences. Like, no, it's different. I'm like, no, it's the same, but I don't remember. So they asked me to do Viper, and say, it's a low voice. So I do a low voice. I don't get to hear the other one. I don't know enough about the character. It looks really similar. I pull something out of my ass. They go, we love it. And I'm wanting to get paid and get a job, so I don't have time to do it, so I just do it. So it's really a side effect of the nature of the business, and I absolutely agree with you. I would love to be able to. I always want to do new and interesting voices, and I hate it when that happens, actually. I also don't like it when I'm watching a show or I'm in a show where you know it's me immediately. My goal is to help suspend your disbelief. So that's why I don't like it when they cast celebrities as voice actors and then draw them like that. I'm like, no, now I'm watching this actor, whether it's Sarah Silverman or somebody else in Wreck-It Ralph, now it's them. They're not, and not that they're good actors, they're fine actors, but I'm just saying, Hollywood and some of the producers start thinking, wouldn't it be great if we... I'm like, yeah, but now you're ruining suspension of disbelief, and now the character's not believable. So I don't mind it when people say, hey, I heard your voice in this. It doesn't offend me, but part of me's going, darn, I don't want you to know it's me, unless it's my natural speaking voice, because I want to change my voice and transform so much that you can't tell, to where you're lost in the character and not thinking, oh yeah, Sean Schemmel, there he goes again. I'm thinking about Sean now. I'm not really enjoying the acting very much, because there he is, being Sean. Like, I don't know, maybe that's a weird thing, but I want to very much, plus I'm a big fan of Mel Blanc, and he's so good at changing his voice and making it so believable that I want to be that good, I want to convince you that I'm somebody else, and so that you don't think about me, and that you're thinking about the character. And then you can think about me when we're talking right now. But that's a good, you're the only person that's ever pointed that out to me. Now I'm probably going to go back and listen to it and go, what the hell did I do here? Like, what's going on? But, that's, those two probably do sound, now that I remember which ones you're saying, I think those two probably do sound similar. I know we got to wrap it up, but I want to catch my breath here and collect my thoughts so that I can wrap it up properly, because I'm going a mile a minute and I'm jet lagged. Don't forget this. You know how, like, one of my favorite things about moments like this, we all have a kind of common thread here, this love for Dragonball and what we're talking about. And it's changed my life, changed your life, and we're all together. To me, these moments are special because you ever see those pictures? It's like 1920, and there's the kayaking team, and they're all a crew, and they're in that moment, they're all buddies together, and they have that special moment. There they are, 19. That's our moment right now. Like 100 years from now, there'll be a picture of this. All of us, some of us will be dead, most of us will be dead, maybe won't. But some people will go, I remember I saw this young guy, he died. It's a special moment. This is our special moment of a black and white photograph, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it here in Wales. So thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing you guys later. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Everything you did today will be available on our podcast in the next